SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I want to discuss the T-Mobile 5G network a little bit. There's some really good things happening there, and I think it's worth celebrating those really good things. I also think it's important to kind of look forward, to kind of see where the network is going and what it's going to be, and how T-Mobile is going to address, so much of the capacity needs for the future of their network. No network has the amount of usage on it like T-Mobile's, right? It's not just about having the most customers on your network. It's about how those customers interact with the network. No customer uses more data than a T-Mobile customer. We've seen the usage statistics. They've got T-Mobile home internet customers. It's a high demand network, right? And questions about the future of that capacity and it becoming constrained are legitimate. So let's do that in today's video, fresh off the Q3 earnings, in which questions were asked and questions came up about the network demands for T-Mobile. All right, Q3 earnings. I'll be sure to link this for you guys here so you can kind of keep pace with what we've been doing here on the channel with respect to the content. So I'll provide that. It'll be down in the description. You guys can check that out and follow along here. Ways to support the SMT are also there in the description. Now let's start first by saying the most impressive thing that T-Mobile has been able to pull has been the fact that they have continued putting their head down and building a capacitive network. 300 million pops of 5G UC across the country. That's industry leading, right? Obviously, they had the 5G stimulus package with the Sprint merger, and all of that is true, but they built the network, right? Got to call a spade a spade. 330 million pops of the low-band 5G network now across the country. Does that mean much to me or you or most other folks? Probably not, right? 5G, massive MIMO, all these awesome 5G features. It doesn't really exist on low band, but it's fine. It's a modern network. We celebrate that. It's worth mentioning. All right, now with respect to the network, right? You've got all this capacity on there and it's getting soaked up, right? You've got mobile growth, right? More customers on the network, increased usage per customer. You've got a T-Mobile home internet customer now. You're adding more of those and their usage is increasing over time. So the capacity is going to be sorely needed. According to T-Mobile, their speeds compared to the competition are double and their availability of 5G is double. And they'll have that lead for years to come. It's perfectly fine. I don't really care about those types of comments from them. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But there were a couple of mentions about the network that Mike Sievert spoke to, and then even like Ulf, the technology president, replacing Neville Ray. They spoke to the technology piece, right? They were going to be able to leverage new technologies to make the network, faster and have more throughput, and they would be able to support all the data demands. Well, it's true. There are some technological things they could do to improve spectral efficiency and bring forth some new added features, which could make a small improvement that could make things better. Now, what they have to do is they're going to have to get their C-band and their DoD on air. There was obviously no mentions of them doing it this year, right, in 2023. But the president of technology, Ulf, whatever, I forget his last name, he mentioned that it was going to be something that was going to come to fruition in 2024. Now, we don't know if that's Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4. We have no clue. But they're saying they're going to do it. And how they're going to do it is going to be very strategic, right? They're going to go to the markets where the demand is. They're going to go to the tower sites that are capacity constrained, right? High usage sites. Now, I want to be very clear about this, folks. They're going to go to sites where the mobile data usage is high. They're not thinking about the home internet customer. Folks, home internet has no QCI. It has no quality of service. It's the baloney of home internet with respect to quality of service and expectations. It's just extra capacity, right? Pieces and parts of the network that if they got it, they'll give it to you, right? They're not going to upgrade tower sites because of home internet. They're going to upgrade tower sites based on the mobile demands of mobile users. So if there are mobile customers overloading sectors, then yeah, T-Mobile will go there. But they're not going to upgrade a site that is good for mobility and maybe can support a couple home internet users. Just because home internet users want to demand the service doesn't mean T-Mobile is going to go there and upgrade the sites. Now, if the mobile usage demand increases and we start to see a sector bogging down and it requires a backhaul upgrade, additional antennas and radios, then T-Mobile will do that, and then they can open it up to more home internet customers. But folks, that's the way it's going to go. It's going to be a mobile network first. And if those demands are exceeded or exceeding the available capacity, then they'll do those upgrades. Now, what I found interesting were two more mentions, not just the DoD and the C-band, but they also mentioned mmWave, right? They said we're using it strategically, in the urban and all that. They're not doing mmWave this year. They're not probably going to do much mmWave next year, right? They literally mentioned by name the C-band and DoD as priority, right? And they don't have much of that, right? So you got what? In some places, you got 20, 30, 40 megahertz of additional 3 gigahertz frequency. They're going to leverage that. So that'll help, but, and they didn't mention small cells or anything. So those solutions, maybe we get that later in the year, next year, possibly, but they're more about more spectrum than more sites. Okay. So these are important things to know to properly guide your expectations. And I think those things, you got to be realistic. Right? When it comes to the network, the most important takeaway, if you walk away with anything from this video, folks, the most important thing is everything is strategic. Everything is about being capital light. It's hard to build a lot of capacity if you're capital light. In order to build excess and extra and more and high capacity, you just have to spend money. Fiber circuits have to be higher capacity. You need new radios and antennas, additional frequencies and bandwidth. They don't do their own engineering, so they're gonna have to pay somebody to install all that stuff. They don't own their own fiber, so they're gonna have to rent that, right? And a 10 gig circuit's 5 times the cost of a 1 gig circuit. And when radios fail, they got to send someone up to fix it. They don't have an engineering team on site to do that. I really don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know how you could be capital light and do the things that they say or want to do. So something's going to give. Either the network's going to have these degradation moments and experiences, or they're going to bite the bullet and do some spending. So you guys tell me, do you think they're lying or they're telling the truth? Are they really going to be CapEx light? Are they just saying what the investor wants to hear? Or are they really not going to spend that much money? These are valid concerns. Guys, they still add hundreds of thousands of mobile users every quarter. They're guiding up to what they say, 3 million ads for the year. If you're adding 3 million customers every year for phones and you're adding 2 million customers on home internet, that's good growth, but that's a lot of demand on the network. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.